Trudy can get us through in 3 minutes. She'll get us through it.
Question, but. I know, I didn't think that's. Okay, that was. Okay. It's neat.
Yeah.
I would like to call to order the Board of Education meeting for Tuesday, March 4th, 2025. Are there any speakers related to closed session topics? Thank you. Seeing none, the board will convene to closed session. board will now convene open session and report out from closed session. Open session of the Board of Education meeting is live on the YouTube channel. Visit the NHUSD Board of Education webpage for the link. If you're attending online via Zoom, use the raise hand feature to indicate you wish to provide public comment. Phone participants should press *9 to be added to the queue and wait to be called on. Community members may submit public comments to the board via email at publiccomment@nhusd.k12.ca.us before each meeting. The board received one public comment via email before tonight's meeting. I would like to remind the public that the board will not be responding to questions posed by those making public comments. Relative to item 3.1, the board voted unanimously to send notices of non-reelection pursuant to Ed Code 44929.21B to the following probationary certificated employees: employee number 9206, 4964, 8284, and 7691. Relative to closed session items 3.2 through 3.4, the board took no action. I will now pass it over to Vice President Rafe to lead item 5.
Please rise for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Here.
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 Here. Here.
Here.
Approval of agenda. May I have a motion and second to approve tonight's agenda as amended to remove item 12.6.
So moved.
Second.
Discussions? Roll call, please.
Aye.
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 May I request Trustee Freeberg to do the land acknowledgement?
Yes, we want to open this meeting by acknowledging with respect and love that the land we are on today is the traditional ancestral homeland of the Ohlone Chochenyo First People. We recognize and thank the Ohlone people as the original stewards of this land. Indigenous people must not be spoken about in past contexts as if they left on their own accord, when the real root causes were white supremacy, manifest destiny, and U.S. colonization. By recognizing we stand on the occupied indigenous territory of the Ohlone people, we recommit ourselves to listen to Native leadership and stand in solidarity with people struggling against systems of oppression throughout the world, past and present.
I'd like to hand it over to President Kumar.
Yes. So we didn't approve it? No. Okay. Oh my gosh. So we need to amend the agenda. I apologize. So if we can, we need to pull item 12.6 from the agenda. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Vice President Rafe.
It's good to double check.
Happens. All right, we're going to move on to item 6.1, public comment on topics that are not on the agenda. Are there any topics, are there any blue cards for topics not on the agenda?
There are several not on the agenda here. The first speaker is Don Damon Priel Bagni.
And I'm an art major at James Logan High School, graduating in 2026. I'm here today to ask for the reinstatement of essential art classes, beginner and advanced painting, foundations in art, AP Studio Art, AP Art 2D Design, and for adding one more art teacher to help meet student demands. As aspiring artists, art schools demand innovation, sophistication, and diverse experiences in a student's portfolio. Experiences that we can only gain through advanced courses. Without them, we are left with limited opportunities to build the necessary skills and depth in artistic practice. Moreover, if these courses are not brought back, many talented individuals may find themselves at a significant disadvantage when applying for art schools, programs, and future careers. It's an unfortunate reality that the lack of art offerings at our school may lead to students to transfer to other institutions, where more robust programs exist that can provide the artistic training we so desperately need. And while I love James Logan High School, I and many others may be forced to leave to seek out better opportunities elsewhere. Furthermore, by hiring an additional art teacher, we can accommodate the growing interest in the arts, provide a more personalized learning experience, and ensure that all students who wish to explore their artistic potential have the opportunity to do so. In conclusion, I urge all board members to reinstate the following art classes at James Logan High School: Beginner and Advanced Painting, Foundations in Art, AP Studio Art, AP 2D Design. These are not just electives. They are critical to our development as young artists and essential to our future careers. By doing so, you will not empower us to reach our fullest potential, but also keep James Logan at the forefront of academic excellence and artistic achievement. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, John.
All right, the next speaker is Arya Brat.
Hello, my name is Arya Ibrat. I'm a student at James Logan High School, and I'm here to advocate for the creativity of our school and the instability of our art programs. Art is not just a hobby, it's a study of life. It's a means to express, it's a career path that benefits not just artists, but everyone who wants to live a life of compassion. The art club is one of the most significant clubs at Logan. There are a plethora of students who express themselves and their cultural identity through illustration. To deny them that right is beyond belief. They deserve to have a chance at the future, do they not? Or is that future only promised to students who take part in sports like football and soccer? We demand the revival of the art curriculum by reinstating classes like beginner painting, advanced painting, foundations in art, AP Studio Art, AP Art, and 2D design, along with more art medium inclusivity like digital art and animation classes that aren't off campus. We demand additional art teachers and for vacant classes to be granted to these new teachers. We demand the opportunity to succeed. We cannot sit idly by and watch as our and future students' ambitions are thrown in the trash. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Arya.
Next up, Servian Reddy.
Hi, my name is Srijan Reddy. I'm here to represent Mission Valley Track and Field. So I'm a father of, now my son is 7 years old, and my son started going to Mission Valley Track and Field from past 1.5 to 2 years. And last year, he was part of the AAU and he came second. So all the credit goes to the coaches and the Mission Valley coaches and the track and field, what availability, the facilities what we have. So I request the board to have back to us those facilities and have the coaches to have the ability to teach all the students.
Thank you, Srijan.
Next, we have Uma Devi Sakshi.
Hello, I am Uma and my kid's name is Arush. I am here to represent Mission Valley Club. We have been part of this club for more than over a year now, and it has been one of the best decisions for my child's development. We look for various activities that would help him grow and also put him in meaningful activities. So we discovered about this Mission Valley Club, which I believe is a hidden gem. So at the club, my child has experienced remarkable improvements in his strength and endurance each day at practice. The practice sessions combined with the incredible facilities have helped him grow in ways that we are really happy to see. And we also thought he would only be able to access these kind of facilities at his higher grades like middle school or high school. Giving him opportunity to access these kind of fields are like great opportunity for us. And with these facilities and combined practice, it is not only helping him physical development, also it is boosts him self-confidence. He is more self-assured, motivated and proud. We are very proud of his progress. We feel incredibly fortunate to be part of a community where kids are valued and encouraged and given the tools they need to succeed. Enabling access to these facilities would offer even more opportunities for families within the communities to explore activities that are best suited for their children's needs and interests. Mission Valley Club had an immeasurable positive impact on our lives, and I wholeheartedly believe that offering broader access to these facilities would benefit so many more kids and families in the community. And I would like to
Next up is Avatar Hiri.
Hello, good evening, board members, president, and audience. Thank you for giving me a chance to say a few things about Mission Valley Track and Field. And Mission Valley Track and Field, I have 3 grandkids, and we were part of this club since 2019. And unfortunately, 2020, there was COVID and there was a pause. And 2021, we had only like 10, 15 kids. And they were participating in all the meets. And slowly every year we progressed and added many, many kids. And today we are reaching close to 500 registered kids with Mission Valley Track and Field and Mission Valley Cross Country. And it's not only we develop and train kids under Coach Lee Webb. And Coach Lee Webb is the person who were head coach at James Logan High School for 37 plus years. And now he's training all the young and developing these techniques. And at this time, we are also part of community, and recently our kids, they ran in cities 5K. And we also involved with Sikh Sports Association, who organize every year 2 days of very big event at James Logan High School. And we also involve and participate in there. And we participate in USATF meets. We also participate in AAU. And this year, our kids, over 50 kids, they went to Junior Olympics and also came up with very high performance results. So hopefully we continue this and add more kids and train them and develop their skills. Thank you very much.
Okay, next up is Lee Webb.
All right, my name's Lee Webb. I was a coach teacher in New Haven for many years. President of the Mission Valley Track and Field Club, 43 years. We've had the club, mainly it was for high school students to practice out of season. But the last 3 years, we have a lot of youth, ages all the way from 3 to, we had a 92-year-old who won a gold medal in the World Masters Championships. And two silvers, so all different ages, all different events. I just want to thank you for letting us be able to use the facility. We appreciate it. In cross country, we use parks, but track and field from February to July. We definitely use the facility and inform you on what's been going on. I think it's been about 1.5 years or so since we were last here. But this past year, AAU cross country, the 6 and under group was national champions. They were national champion team, 6 and under. 50 some people went to the Junior Olympics. We had a bunch of race walkers. Union City is now called the race walking capital of the U.S. because we had some alumni come by. I never thought we'd be excelling in race walk, but And Bet Stroh was the 92-year-old. But, you know, the athlete, they come from all over, but, you know, mainly Fremont, but we have way more Union City and Hayward, so it's growing. We cover all the track and field events. Like Mr. Hooray said, we, the runs for the Sikh, we did the Guru Nanak, we helped, we run. The Hero Run, we participated. The New Haven Run, we had over 100 students participate. This year we'll give out $5,000 in scholarships for New Haven students. So, I mean, you know, it says Union City on the back of our shirts. If you look, we're representing Union City wherever we go in the country and the world. Even Bet Stroh wears her uniform as well. So I brought you something from the banquet to see what we do.
You think you're nice. The YouTube groups look on Dr. Corner.
Next speaker is Greg Claire.
Hello, board members. I'm here to simply say thank you from Mission Valley Track and Field. I'm a former athlete and now I have come back to coach. And I just want to say it is a pleasure to be able to use the facility that you guys allow us to use. It allowed me to see the neighboring districts, not as my competition, but also as my friends because they would all come and compete with us. And it was a really great experience to be able to go to nationals and travel all the way to Houston, Texas, and also to Jacksonville, Florida to compete against some of the nation's best. And I wouldn't have been able to have that opportunity if I didn't have this beautiful facility to practice off of. Just wanted to quickly mention that if we didn't have this facility, a lot of people wouldn't be able to come and learn these great life lessons from Coach Lee Webb because he is more than a coach. And I think all of us know that. So by being able to by giving us legacy status, you're able to give all these kids that are coming opportunities to learn and grow and be better humans every single day. And that's all I'm here to say. Just thank you so much.
Next, we have Manjir Siani.
Thank you, board members, for giving me this opportunity. I will speak mostly about me, my family experiences after joining Mission Valley Track and Field. I'm a father of two kids who started their first year in school when the COVID hit. So their first 2 years of their curriculum was completely an online learning. I somehow felt that whole COVID experience impacted everyone, but I believe the kids got impacted the most. They had, and then some could see it, some symptoms were visible, some symptoms were not visible, but I felt that mental health got impacted a lot, but they were not able to express that. I was looking for a program that can help my kids' mental health and also as well as the physical health. And Mission Valley Track and Field program actually helped us in many ways. My kids have participated in about 4 nationals so far. my daughter, she participated, like as Coach Lee Webb mentioned about race walking. When she participated in the national, in that particular race, the Union City was mentioned, I believe, 15 or 20 times, because she and another race walker, they led the race for almost the 4 laps. It was a 1500-meter race walk, and the announcer was continuously mentioned Union City. So that that was a proud moment as a family, and also our kids felt affiliated. And there is more affiliation now with the Union City, with James Logan, because they are continuously coming here. So I would really request the legacy status be granted to Mission Valley. Thank you.
Thank you, Manjunath.
Okay, we have more Mission Valley speakers, but they're all listed as on the agenda. So we're going to hold off on that. And we have one more speaker card for off the agenda and one person on Zoom. Okay, so the next speaker is Alexia Williams.
Good evening, board members. My name's Alexia Williams. I'm the mother of Bella Williams. She's part of the New Haven School District. And we actually went to actually it's only been since February. So we're relatively new. I've been thought, should I even come? But I thought I should probably let you know the awe-inspiring experience that I've witnessed, and maybe even you guys might want to view firsthand. If you go to the track meet, you can see these, like he said, like these like 4 to like 10-year-olds go first, and you can see how they go from 5 to 6:30, from the stretching to like the warm up to the practice, and then the cool down, and then the inspirational quotes at the end for like the little kids to raise their hand and each express something to motivate the other. It's quite inspiring for even the assistant coaches as well as parents and the children. And day one, I was just impressed because my daughter was falling behind these students who've been practicing, and it's like 6:15, and I was like, wow, I can't believe like all these children are continuing, like not getting tired. And this is like high school level, like of I mean, just discipline. Keeping up with the older kids. And I was thinking, wow, how rewarding will that be for these students? I mean, even like as high school, once they get into high school and they actually, or even the New Haven district, like no matter where they are, I mean, you're going to have some all-stars. You're going to have some that will probably be Olympians, like no doubt. Okay,
Thank you, Alexia. All right, can we have the speaker on Zoom now?
Apparently not anymore, so. Oh, okay. Colleen Heslett is next on Zoom.
Good evening. I'm a former teacher in New Haven after retiring about 1.5 years ago. I would like to speak tonight on agenda item 9.4 in the renaming of Barnard White Middle School. After having observed the process of a previous renaming of a school, I would like to remind the board that you do have a board policy that guides that, Board Policy 7310. And I would like to speak on specifically line 7 about renaming a school, an existing school, and the extraordinary circumstances involved in that. I'm wondering what the extraordinary circumstance is to rename Barnard White campus. Looking at all of the schools, there are roughly 20 plus school site campuses, facilities throughout the district, and only 1.5 of them are named after women. I'm disappointed in the discussions about renaming Barnard White that there are not discussions about attempting to equal the playing field there. For the extraordinary circumstance, I would expect it would be somebody that maybe saved children from a fire, stepped in front of a bullet, or even the first female African-American, Indian American Vice President of the United States. But an extraordinary circumstance is not because a school site closed 17 years prior. I would like to encourage you to continue the discussion if renaming of Barnard White is truly going to happen. And by doing so, write history, and that's RIGHT, by looking at naming it after a woman and or somebody of color. Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. We have public comment for topics on the agenda.
Yes. And the first comment for, well, second now, for on the agenda is Michelle Parnella.
So piggybacking on what Ms. Hazlitt said, yes, the board needs to follow the policy for renaming. But I just wanted to clarify a few things before the presentation happens. And also thank you, Shamsa, for showing up to the community meeting. It was very nice to see a board member present. So a couple of things that we didn't talk about at the community meeting, but after seeing what the superintendent will present, I want to make a distinction that the community, and when I say community, those of us that have passed through those hallways and that are part of the immediate neighborhood, were a little confused by the attachment of Dakota to that campus. And you'll see in the presentation that for those of us who actually have a personal affiliation to that school site, are interested in maintaining the name Barnard White and just attaching Support Services Center to the end of that. Also, not a lot of the community members, if you don't have a child active in the school district, we didn't get the memo. So a lot of us didn't know about it. I happened to find out through a friend. So I just want the board to consider all of those things before we take action. I know that it's tentatively scheduled for action item, I think in April. So I think there needs to be a little bit more discussion and people need to be involved throughout the at-large community, not just those that have active students in the district. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Okay, next is Manos, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to pronounce this well, Ram Al-Andran.
All right. Thank you very much, the board, for giving me this opportunity to speak. So I'm here to represent Mission Valley again, and I asked the board to provide legacy status to the club. So I'm a father of a 7-year-old. My son's name is Tej, and he's part of the Valley. He's part of the club for the last couple of years. Unlike me, when I was growing up and I did not have access to these great facilities, my son is incredibly privileged to have access to the great facilities at Logan. And using that facility, and thanks to the training of the club and Coach Webb, he's participated in several events. He's participated in the USATF track and field events. He attended the nationals. He also attended the New Haven Fun Run last year, and he plans to do that this year as well to help raise funds for the community. We also just recently attended the Superhero 5K just this weekend, again, which helped raise funds for Parkinson's disease for the community. Now, again, none of these would have been possible if we didn't have access to the great facility here. Beyond the training, the club really enables these kids to be better individuals. If I were to ask my son, the single biggest thing that he learned every single day is he's going to say, give your best. What's your PR every single day? So I think, the club teaches not only training on track and field, but also promotes life skills. And I guess finally, I'd like to say, we've been incredibly privileged, not only the kids, but also the parents themselves. I've had the opportunity to use the facility along with my son to train with him. And if not for the facility, you would have seen an obese adult here last year. So I think, each one of us tend to benefit here. So I'd like to say thank you, and I'd ask you to approve the legacy status for the club. Thank you. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Manoj.
Next up is Ramnar Pendian.
Hello, board. First of all, I just want to thank you for offering the facility for Mission Valley Track and Field so far. And I'm here with the same echo and sentiment to extend the legacy status for the track and field club. About my family, my daughter is 9 years old and she's been with track and field Mission Valley team for last 3 years. And she's been qualified for nationals. And obviously she will be part of the group which brings in Mission Valley or Union City to the race walk map for the world as well. It's beyond that. I would say what the facility have done is it has provided a platform. That platform has created and better individuals, stronger athletes. Yes, you will see with the results as every year you will see Mission Valley is going to come up with a lot of champions and results. That's secondary. I would say what Coach Webb have done is first he instilled confidence on the kids. They believe what they do, compassion and respect each other. These are the habits that they build. And also, he also built a sense of kind of being part of the community. If there is an 5K happening with Fun Run, or if there is a New Haven district event happens, you would see my daughter will be the first one to sign up for it. And she runs and she will be kind of doing good with that. So that means you will, by offering legacy status, you will see better athletes performing well. Beyond that, you will see trailblazers of the community, achieving larger results and having a bigger impact on the community. Thanks.
Thank you, Ramkumar.
Next up is Kunal Wadhua.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm representing Mission Valley and I'm echoing the same thing where I'm requesting the board to give us a legacy status. So from last year, when I meet you this time, there's a lot changed personally in my life as well. And thanks to Coach Webb and Mission Valley, I've got the opportunity to coach the kids. And last year, our team, which went to AAU 6 and under, like they said, they were the national champions. So our team, when we say we represent Union City and Mission Valley, so the best team in US on the category for 6 and under was from Union City. And we had a national champion along with three All-Americans. So that was a really big achievement and personally and for all the kids. Apart from that, like every day they keep learning and they keep growing. And that's all thanks to the facility that we have. But apart from thanking y'all, I also wanted to convey that we have this apprehensive feeling where a fear is always looming around us that if we will have a legacy status or no. That is not only impacting us, but even hundreds of other students that are in the community or in our club. So every time at one part, we have foreseen our kids to how would they go to school, how to go to college, how they would be going to Olympics and representing not only United States, but also Union City. At the other end, we are at a state where we have this dilemma where we will have this facility now, because without the facility, without the club, pretty much they all fall apart. They don't have a place to practice and everything falls apart. So I wanted to request again, on behalf of the club to please grant us the legacy status. And the more number of years we get, the more better for us. So thank you. Thank you so much. And yeah, I also wanted to mention that we have also included the Paralympics as a part of our club. And we are really excited for bringing that as a part of our club.
Thank you, Kunal.
All right, next is Rothwamar Vulanadam.
Hi, everyone. Thanks. My name is Bharat. So I am a parent of a child who is participating in the Mission Valley Track and Field Club. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank New Haven School District and the board members for providing the legacy status in the past years. So the club promotes not only the sporting activity, so it is teaching the life skills through sports. So it's not only about your physical activity, it is about setting your goals and achieving that goals. And also it is not about competing with the highest, who is the best. It is competing with yourselves so that people can recognize. And like there is an event every Monday. If they did better than their previous timing, so they will be appreciated. So it makes the kids to learn, okay, it is not about like competing with everyone, it is competing with yourselves, and it provides a platform to set a goal and achieve that goal. And my son, he is part of this club for 3 years, and he participated in AAU nationals, and he followed that principles, and he became a national champion, which I am proud of it. Because when I look back in my school days, our facilities will be in the sand and we will run without shoes also. And when my son has this kind of opportunities, so he has a chance to represent this community and become a national champion. So I would like to request you, board members, to continue the legacy status for Mission Valley Track and Field Club to use this facility. Thank you.
Thank you, Bharat.
All right, next is Christian Morales.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me share. So I'm an alumni from Guy Emanuel, Bernard White, and James Logan High School. Also, I was a troubled kid, going through a lot of things at my age. A lot of my friends were dying and, passing away from drugs and alcohol. Thanks to Mission Valley, I found a way to escape that. Now as an adult, I came back because my daughter wanted to run. And so Coach Webb invited me to help him coach. I got USATF certified level 1 coaching certificate. I coach these kids. My daughter runs, my son throws, my 5-year-old runs. We just did the superhero run. I ran alongside my daughter and my athletes and some of the parents. This is the beauty of this program. It saves lives. That's the way I see it, because it saved mine. It really did. Like I said, there was a lot of things going on when I was in high school, and all I had left that kept me in school was Mission Valley and the track and field program. With that said, like they were saying, we've had a lot of people go to Junior Olympics. My daughter, one of them. Union City is out there. We're putting Union City in the map. It's a beautiful program what Coach Webb has created. There's so many things I could say. I know a lot of them have already spread it, but I just want to ask to continue to keep that legacy program, because there's still troubled youth out there that are still dying from drugs and gangs, and programs like this where you don't have to pay, because the only reason why I didn't play other sports was because it was too expensive to do other sports. Coach Webb took care of that for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian.
All right, next is Lawrence Wong.
Hello, my name is Lawrence Wong. I'm a longtime Union City resident. I graduated from New Haven Middle School in 1980 and Logan at 1984. So, and our family runs the Rose Garden restaurant. We've been there for 48 years now. So my angle is that I support the Union City has supported my family and my family business, and I'm here to support Coach Webb and Mission Valley Track. And the opportunity that the track club has given my daughters, which allowed them to go into college. Now my older daughter runs cross country, indoor track and outdoor track in college. And I'm hoping that that will happen for my second daughter too. So I'm here to support Mission Valley Track and Field. Thank you.
Thank you, Lawrence. Do we have any speakers on Zoom for topics on the agenda? No more? Great, thank you. All right, so we're going to move on to item 8, reports from our labor partners. Do we have the CSEA president? No. Do we have the NHTA president or representation from NHTA?
Good evening, Board of Trustees. My name is Kimberly DeBono, and we're here tonight. This is our exec board for NHTA. I wanted to come tonight because I am stepping in for Joe for right now, and our exec board will be coming every board meeting to speak with you. But tonight we just wanted to say we are continuing to look forward to working with you collaboratively on things like our SPED advisory, the PD work that we've done. And we want to keep encouraging having those conversations that are collaborative and are positive and working towards solutions for our union and our members, as well as our students, and putting them at the center is always what we want to do. And I know we all have a common desire to do that. And so we're just here to introduce ourselves. And so, did you want to introduce yourself? No. Well,
Exec board.
so that's it. But thank you for listening to us tonight.
Thank you, Kimberly. All right, next up is item 9.1, presentation of the second interim budget update for 2024-25.
Good evening, Superintendent Thompson, President Kumar, and members of the board and guests here this evening. We've concluded the completion of our second interim budget update. So I usually start with the code that prescribes the manner and the timing by which we need to complete the second interim report. These financials cover from July 1st, financial activities from July 1st, and projections that are updated. The difference this time compared to the one that we presented in December is that this time we are incorporating what we've heard from the initial proposals by the governor, which he unveiled in January. So we are moving right along the budget cycle for 24-25. Second interim is being presented to you today for action. In June, you will be adopting the 25-26 plus 2-year budget. Also in that same meeting on June 17 would be what we call the estimated actuals. So after tonight, you will still have one opportunity to make adjustments to the current fiscal year, which is 24-25. The books for 24-25 would then be completed and closed, as we call it, and that would be presented to you in September. So we're moving right along in that budget cycle. So as mentioned earlier, the governor unveiled his proposals for 25-26. We usually look at, in terms of calculating our revenues, there are factors that are provided to us by the state. There aren't very many state revenue funding sources anymore because of LCFF. A lot of them were folded into that, but we do have, as you can see on the board, some of them that are still coming from state funding sources, including what we need to use for pension rates. Those are dictated to us by the state. I wanted to spend a little bit of time on how the COLA evolves. In the current year, the COLA that we have been using since we adopted the budget was 1.07%. Now, this time last year, when that was being proposed, it started with, I remember calling it the 1-ish% COLA. So as you can see in those 3 years, and I always talk about 3 years because that's what we have to produce in terms of budget approval. That's what we are required to do as far as an Assembly Bill 1200. So as you can see, for example, the budget that we are going to be building just, in the next month or so, the 25-26, that started at 2.73%. Gone are the 8% and higher COLA. I think we saw those in the last 3 years. Now we're back to the more normalized COLA that we were used to prior to the last 3 years. So right now, if nothing changes, the COLA that would be used for developing the 25-26 would be the 2.43%. I wouldn't depend on the COLA we're hearing right now for 26-27. The one thing I can assure you is that will not be 3.52% when we get there. So we talked about the state factors. We always have to incorporate our own local factors in terms of calculating our revenues. The one thing I want to point out here is our enrollment.
24-25 is the first year in more than a decade that the district did not lose enrollment, did not lose students. And I'm talking about CalPADS to CalPADS. These are certified numbers. So we actually gained 17 students if we compare those two data points together. So this is the first year. Gone are the days when we used to lose an average of 260 from year to year. So at this point, this is 1 year data. When we start developing the 25-26, as you can see here, we're just projecting flat. More work will need to take place in terms of really what that would be. Is 1 year enough for a trend? You know, anyone would say no. So I think this is another area that we need to be looking at. Just a reminder, we actually are in the process of doing another demographic study. So hopefully when that report comes out, that would give us some guidance on what to do in terms of the out year projection for enrollment. These are the COLA projections that we have heard of, what we're projecting to be our ADA yield or enrollment yield. Another line item that could very well be impacted based on where really we would land on in terms of enrollment projection, especially when we are getting ready to develop 25-26 plus 2 years, is our unduplicated pupil count. Now, it's also this year that we've exceeded the threshold of 55%. And that gives us a lot of additional dollars in terms of our high need kids. Now, when our enrollment changes, it is very likely that that number would also drop, depending on which direction we would land on. So these are the local factors that we use. When we put all of that together, we look at what we are projecting in terms of LCFF revenue for the current year. So that's 124.9 million. Of that 125 million, for all intents and purposes, 12.7 million is in supplemental and 2.9 million is in concentration. Those two numbers are important because those require a certain additional level of engagement and assessment, and that is tied to our local control accountability plan. So this is the whole of LCFF. So we've talked about the current year. This is right now the budget of record. Your second interim update is your budget of record. We're going to have another chance to make adjustments that will happen in June, between now and June, and that is what we call the estimated actuals. Now let's look ahead. Based on all those numbers put together, what does our multi-year look like? Now, this is just the unrestricted. I don't include restricted here because those have to self-balance anyway. So with an actual number moving forward from the prior year, our ending balance appears to be, it's right smack in the middle of the page. For the current year, if nothing changes, and there will be changes, that 38 million will not be 38 million by the time we close the books in August. So just so you know, this is what we keep track of in terms of the changes in our ending balances. That was a quick presentation. Good segue after talking about ending balances. There are some budget reminders I wanted to provide here. Ending balances are one time. You spend it once, it's gone. It doesn't self-replenish and it doesn't keep coming back to us. We talked about the enrollment. Again, great news. This is the first year that we didn't lose. In fact, we gained 17. Is that a blimp or is the trend reversing? A lot of those will be very critical in terms of developing the coming year budget +2. And the district is settled through 25-26. What that means is the ending balance that we were looking at in the previous page would be very different once we settle for the years beyond 25-26. So those are budget tidbits, and that is the presentation of our second interim update. There's a full report that's part of the agenda packet. Are there any questions?
Do any board members have questions, comments? We're good. Trustee Gonzalez.
The facilities technology budget committee, when is the next meeting?
We will try to schedule one sometime the end of this month, late this month.
All right, thank you, Ms. Sandra.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to item 9.2, presentation on expanded learning opportunities program, the ELOP sustainability plan by Ms. Hawkins and Ms. Mirabello.
Good evening, Board President Kumar, Vice President Rafay, trustees, and Superintendent Thompson. My name is Jennifer Hawkins, the Union City Family Center Coordinator, and I have by my side Alex Morello, the manager of the Beyond the Bell programs. And we are going to provide an overview of the sustainability plan for 2025 through 2028 for the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program, also known as ELOP. So just a quick review of what ELOP is, or ELOP. It is a state provided funding that funds our after-school programs, which are known as Beyond the Bell. And of course, we partner with the Boys and Girls Club at Emmanuel and Hillview Crest. So some requirements per the ELOP funding, we are required to operate a after-school program through our elementary through middle schools. We are also required to provide priority enrollment for kiddos in grades TK through 6 and prioritize our unduplicated kiddos. And so unduplicated students mean our English learners, McKinney-Vento, foster youth, and any student qualifying for a free and reduced price meal. So as we prioritize our free and reduced, our unduplicated kiddos, we also charge a fee for students who don't qualify under or qualify as being unduplicated. Other requirements, we are required to staff our programs in grades TK and K 10-to-1, and that means 10 for every 10 students, 1 adult. And in 1st through 6th grade, we are required a 20-to-1 ratio. We are required to operate, including the 9 hours of instructional day, operate every school day that school is in session, 180 school days. We are also required 30 non-intersession days, non-school days. We are also required to include an educational and literacy element, as well as enrichment activities. Now, here's how we're funded. So New Haven Unified School District relies solely on ELOP funding and the fees that we collect from the families that do not qualify for unduplicated. We, as New Haven Unified School District, are identified as a Rate 2 district, meaning that we have 75% or less unduplicated students, as Annette had just mentioned. Unfortunately, what we're seeing is that our rates from year to year, because we are a Rate 2 district, Rate 1 districts receive the majority of the funding, ELOP funding, and then what's left over is what is Rate 2, and then it's dispersed to Rate 2 districts. As you can see, it's at a decrease from year to year. We do not know what next school year will bring, and so this is why we're approaching a sustainability plan. Note that most Alameda County school districts are multi-funded, where they receive 21st Century, ACES, or ELOP, and they also charge fees. So what we're proposing is a fee increase, a gradual fee increase that will begin in school year 25-26. You can see what the current fee is right now, and this is on a full-time basis. A student that attends the program, the after-school program, every school day of the week, from as soon as school is released until the end of the program, which is about 6 o'clock. So full-time rate for TK through 5 is $455, and you can see it's $406 for full-time students in grades 6 through 8. What we're proposing for TKK, because the ratio is so low, 10-to-1, we're proposing a $5 per day increase for TKK in the 25-26 school year, and $2.50 per day increase for grades 1 through 5 and full-time grades 6 through 8. And again, it's incrementally. In 26-27, we're proposing another $5 per day increase for TKK, and then another $2.50 per day increase for grades 1 through 8. So you can see here, our current projected revenue, given our current enrollment, is approximately $989,000 a year. If we do this gradual fee increase, we are expected an additional $243 $1,000 in the 25-26 school year. And then with the other gradual increase, an additional $486,000 in 26-27. Now, we do understand we want to make this accessible to all families, no matter, their income level. So these are the areas that we want to support our families in. So students qualifying for free and reduced lunch or unduplicated will remain free. Sliding scale will be put into effect going into next school year. Connecting families to childcare subsidy programs like Hybly, 4Cs, and Davis Street, which we do now. And then, of course, we will still implement the staff and sibling discounts. Conclusion, this will help our after-school programs remain sustainable, knowing that the rate too fluctuates, maintains the quality and accessible program of services for our families here in New Haven, and then support families with financial assistance options. Thank you. Questions?
Do any board members have questions? I had one. Sure. So how do our monthly rates here at New Haven compare to neighboring similar school districts?
Considerably low.
Okay.
Yeah. And just keep in mind that the neighboring districts are also multi-funded and they still charge fees, which are higher than what we charge.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to item 9.3, presentation on Apogee ThrillShare. Mr. Meadows.
Good evening, President Kumar, members of the board, Dr. Thompson. My name is John Mattos, and I'm here to give you some background information related to an action item that you have coming up later on this evening regarding moving from Parent Square to ThrillShare. And just to, oops, I always have problems with this. This ball started rolling back in October of 23 when the superintendent and staff held a couple of community forums, one on each side of the city, in preparation of the new strategic plan in order to garner community input. And one of the things that we heard was that our families have to download way too many apps in order to kind of be sure that they're hitting on all cylinders in terms of district communication. So the Parent Square, which is the communication platform, Aries, which is grades and attendance, Canvas, which is our secondary learning management system, and when we still had Seesaw, district-wide Seesaw, those are ones that folks pretty much needed, but we also had a number of teachers using ClassDojo and Remind as well. It's a lot of apps. And so as you can imagine, the question we heard was, couldn't we just have one app? And so not soon after that, we crossed paths with a company named Apogee, and Apogee, this is what they do. They build apps for school districts in order to make it easier on families and districts to kind of streamline their communication. They recognize that our parents have kind of an app overload. They also recognize that when our parents are accessing those other apps, they're not accessing New Haven, and we want them to access New Haven. And they also recognize that kind of the more places our student data is being shared, probably the more risk there is in terms of privacy and security. So Apogee is the company, and their platform is called ThrillShare. And ThrillShare is kind of that's the be all and end all. That is the app. And all of our communication tools, should we move in that direction, would be in that one place. Everything would be branded in kind of New Haven. And all of it is designed to work on smartphones, which the vast majority of our parents prefer to kind of access this information. When they do kind of download and log into the app, they'll see a feed of kind of our social media and any other messages we want to push out. There'll be calendars. Folks can, kind of sign up to come to meetings, and we'll have a number of other pieces of information on there, like menus and whatnot. Within the app, our families will be able to access, our two really big platforms of Aries and Canvas. through their web browser on their phone. So on their iPhone, it would be Safari. I have no idea what's on an Android phone. I apologize. And they'll be able to access all of it just like they were sitting at their home computer. And if parents really did prefer the app themselves, they can obviously decide to access that if they want to. Currently, our communication platform is Parent Square, and Parent Square has a very close relationship with our student information system, ARIES, and so they kind of come packaged together. And with Parent Square, we can do a lot of things. We can send out messages to the entire district. We can send out messages to a particular school, to a particular class, to a particular group of students. And teachers can, access and send messages to their entire class, to a particular group of class, or even just one family if they want to. And parents and teachers can communicate back and forth within that app. And one of the nice things about Parent Square is that if the family has chosen a particular language, a preferred language, the teacher can push out the information in English. The family will receive it in their language of choice. They will respond in their language of choice, and it will go back to their teacher in English. So it is 130 different languages. Parent Square is really good with that. Thrillshare's communication is called Rooms, and it does essentially everything that Parent Square does. It still has all of that functionality in regards to who they can contact, in terms of translations. All of that's built in, and it's got a couple of other things. One, as I said, it keeps everything in one place. And I put that at the top of this little graphic because I think that's really important. And one thing that Thrillshare and Rooms has that Parent Square doesn't necessarily have, and maybe doesn't have yet, but Class Dojo is kind of it's a PBIS sort of communication tool with parents where teachers can kind of award points to students based on classroom conduct and behavior. And that information goes to the parents. And so they can kind of communicate about behavior. That's a separate app. That's that Class Dojo. But Thrillshare and Rooms has that built in. So that is a pretty useful tool, especially at our elementary schools. And it's built into to the app, to Thrillshare as well. And again, all the other sorts of things that Parent Square can do, Thrillshare can do as well. Change is hard. And so we wanted to make sure that we had spoken to our partners about this change. And so we met with, and we had a demonstration of the Thrillshare platform with folks who would be using it to push messages out to the community. And so we met with administrators and had kind of a PD. We met with some CSA partners and had a PD, and NHTA had some teachers come and get some PD on it just to see how it works on the back end. And when we asked folks afterwards, what do you think? Did you have a preference? For the most part, people were like, hey, it's pretty much one or the other. Either one's good. For folks that demonstrated a preference, they preferred Thrillshare. So we took that as pretty positive. In terms of cost, as part of our annual agreement with ARIES, we pay almost $60,000 for Parent Square each year. If we went to Thrillshare, the first year we would pay $70,000, and 15 of that thousand is the setup, the design, the building, everything, and all the training, training of staff and messaging out to parents, all that sort of stuff. And then it would be $55,000 per year, and then $55,000 per year ongoing. And of course, when you renew, oftentimes they might pop it up a little bit, but Parent Square could do that too. But so I believe over time, this will be a cost savings for us to switch to this. Should the board decide to move forward with this, we are with Apogee ready to start immediately. We actually have a meeting planned tomorrow, and we hope to give them news. That's good. And we'll start with the data setup and all of that, and move throughout the spring. We hope to do a soft launch for summer school to be able to have folks pilot that and get ready for August, when we will have our hard launch and official kind of sending out to parents and everything. Thank you. Any questions?
Trustee Rafay?
So like, you're planning to, when will it be, when will it be in use, basically?
So we're hoping to have it ready for summer school. So that's the first time it would be out and then shared with everybody in the start of the 25-26 school year.
And how many teachers, are the teachers also aware about this change, or the teachers of the whole district?
So we contacted for both CSEA and NHTA, we reached out to the union leadership and explained what was happening and asked them to share with us, give us some names of folks that they wanted to kind of see and see how it works. So does every single teacher in the district know about it? I would say probably not, but we really worked with our labor partners to get a representative sample.
Right, because the one that you just showed just says 14 responses.
Yeah, it was, well, I will say not everybody is really good about completing surveys at the end of meetings. But we probably had about 10 teachers and maybe about the same CSEA. And then we did the show for all of our principals. So, but yeah, we did not have a ton of responses on the surveys.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Trustee Gonzalez?
Yeah, so I use Class Dojo. That's the best way to communicate. I don't use all the other point system and notifications of behavior. I mean, it's mostly for messaging. I use Remind. To my understanding, Class Dojo is free, correct?
That's my understanding as well.
Okay. So if we do pass this, if we do adopt this, teachers are not obligated to use it, though. They can, if they're like old school like me, like I just want to use my Class Dojo and that's fine.
We would not require anybody to use it. We would encourage them to use it because again, we want everything in one place, but I don't believe we would preclude anybody from using it.
Okay. No further questions.
I do have a comment. As a parent of 3 kids in the district, it's been painful, the number of apps we have. So this is exciting. I saw a few parents nodding when you were sharing that question. And it was exciting to see that the menus will be shared too, because that's something, having kids at different school sites, it's been a challenge knowing what the menus are. So this is cool. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Mr. Maddow.
Great.
Oh, go ahead, Trustee.
You mentioned that you use Class Dojo, but Class Dojo can be wrapped into this, right? So if folks that are old school like you continue to use Class Dojo, it would just be within this overarching app, right?
So Aptigee does, I don't know that that's accurate. Aptigee and Thrillshare have a similar product like Class Dojo.
Oh,
I
I see.
haven't asked to see if, could somebody conceivably go in through the app and access Class Dojo through the web browser. I imagine it's possible, but I haven't asked that specific question.
Okay.
All right, we're going to move on to item 9.4 then. Presentation on potential renaming of Bernard White Middle School and the district's Independent Studies Program, DSIS.
Thanks. I'll tackle this one. Thank you. All right. So as the board knows, we set out to explore the possibility of renaming one of our facilities and one of our programs, and the facility being the Barnard White Middle School and the program being our Dakota School for Independent Studies. So we'll touch on these real quickly and then share some of the results that we got and try to figure out where to head next. So when it came to Barnard White, as we all know, it hasn't been a middle school since 2008. And what we've been doing since then is adding programs over there. And currently there are a number of programs that are listed here that are all at Barnard White Middle School. One of the things that we're seeing happen is as people that aren't familiar with Barnard White but are searching out these programs, when you Google it, it still shows up as Barnard White Middle School. So it's still registered with the Department of Ed as Barnard White Middle School. So it's created a little bit of confusion. And the name Barnard White Middle School doesn't represent these programs anymore, and there isn't a middle school program there. So this was the impetus for exploring the possibility of renaming that facility. For DSIS, similar in some ways, although this became a school in 2012-13, it was originally housed at the Dakota Elementary School campus. And that the Dakota Elementary School, of course, doesn't house an elementary school anymore. It moved to the Barnard White campus during the 2021 school year. It serves students across our district and from outside of the district. And the name Dakota School for Independent Studies isn't really accurate anymore because it's more than an independent study program at this point. For example, we have students that are concurrently enrolled at Logan and Chabot and Ohlone and they're still enrolled in this program too. So it's more than an independent studies program at this point in time. So these are the reasons, the compelling reasons that we thought were worth exploring a potential name change. So we embarked on this process in February and we went through a community input period. We had a survey that was open all of February. It closed at the end of February. We had 102 respondents. And then we had a community forum and we had about 10 attendees at that forum. So here we are tonight, and I'm going to share what we've learned in this input gathering period and some potential recommendations, and then we can talk about what to do next. So this is the first one. We'll talk about Barnard White. And so these are the survey data that we got back, the entries that we had. And the overall the respondents felt that the majority felt that we should change the name, with a good percentage of people saying that we shouldn't and 14% not sure. When we bifurcated it with those that are currently affiliated with the New Haven Unified School District, meaning you're a parent, you're a student, you're a staff member, that's the graph on the left. And then the graph on the right are those that aren't. They may have at one point been students or faculty members, but are no longer directly affiliated with the community. So you can see there's a difference. The majority of people within the New Haven Unified School District community felt that we should rename, with still a good percentage, 30% saying we shouldn't. And then for those that are in the community at large, the majority feeling like we should not. So when we went to the community forum, we learned quite a bit as well. And I think the general sentiment is even for anybody that was part of Barnard White, I think there is a strong feeling that we should honor that name and keep that name in one way or another. And that I think there was some recognition that things change, but we still want to embrace our history and our past. Let's see. That came out during the community forum. When we looked at the survey data, one of the questions that we asked was, what name would you like it to be called? And the majority of the people, 30.4% was the largest group that responded, and they supported the name Dakota Student and Family Support Center. All right, so trying to think about honoring the campus and the tradition and bringing it into the current era, this was an idea that we had as a potential way to bridge that gap. The Dakota Student and Family Support Center, Barnard White Campus, New Haven Unified School District. So for example, if the board decided to go in this direction, this would be something that could be branded and put forward like that and registered wherever we advertise this. So this is a thought, an idea, trying to, again, honor the past and move into the future. For DSIS, this is the overall data, the majority of the entries. This is combined community and New Haven community felt that we shouldn't change the name. When it was split out, it was clear that the community at large felt strongly that we shouldn't change the name, with our New Haven community feeling like the majority feeling like we should. And this is where it was really good to have the community forum. I really enjoyed it actually, because we got to learn a lot more about the history of Barnard White and some of the other aspects of our district. But one of the things that emerged was it seemed that there was the perception in our community that when we were talking about renaming DSIS, a lot of the people in the community, it seemed, felt like we were trying to rename the school, Dakota Elementary School, which we're not. That's something, that school is still, we have programs there right now, Cadango and Seneca, and the school facility as it exists wouldn't change. What we were talking about is renaming just the name of the program. So that seemed to alleviate, for those that were present, again, we only had about 10 people present, seemed to alleviate some of the concern about that. So when we went back to the survey data, the overwhelmingly most popular name that was the survey respondents had was renaming DSIS to the New Haven Academy. And so there's an example of what it could potentially look like. And that name, there is a New Haven Academy in New Haven, Connecticut, but we also have, I mean, for example, Cesar Chavez, there's a Cesar Chavez Middle School in Hayward too. So it's not unusual to have, it's hard to find a completely unique and original name. And there's only one other one that we could find, and it's all the way across the country. So we still felt like it was a name worth bringing forward. So as far as next steps go, this is our time to talk about it. What do we need to do? What do we want to do? You heard a couple speakers tonight talk about Barnard White. Do we want to continue down this road? Do we want to consider these names? Other names, is there more information the board needs? There's no action for the board to take tonight, but if we are moving forward, we would agendize it potentially for the April 15th meeting. And with that, I'll turn it over to Olive for discussion.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. Do any board members have questions or comments?
Yeah, I do. So you mentioned that there was a lot of confusion because on Google, or if you look on the internet, Barnard White is still mentioned as a middle school. So I'm not proposing that we get rid of that, but is that name going to still cause confusion?
It's a good question. It could. Again, I think it's worth our consideration to think about the community needs though, and somehow capture that name in there. I think that would be worth doing. But you're right. I think just if you Google it and see it come up as a middle school, I think just getting rid of the middle school part will alleviate a fair chunk of that confusion. And if we do something like we had, like going back to, if I can go back here, doing something like this, it doesn't have to be this, of course, would clarify, I think, a bit. So anyway, it could be for example, it could be the Student and Family Support Center, Barnard White Campus. You could take the Dakota out. You could put Barnard White Student Family Support Center. There's a lot of different ways to do this, but somehow incorporating Barnard White, it would be my recommendation that we do that some way within this renaming.
Because I still feel like if we have Barnard White Campus, it's still going to be confusing. But if you did something like Barnard White Student and Family Support Center, that might be less confusing.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yeah, my parents, all my aunts and uncles went to school at Barnard, and when they talk about it, they light up, great memories there at Barnard. But I went to New Haven, and we had a name change. And, it was tough at first, but it's not the name, it's the people in the school that really make a difference though. And that's what it's about, the memories you had there. I'm open to hearing a name change to this, and more importantly, though, I really want to open up to the community. What is the community? How do they feel? I would like another opportunity for a community forum to hear from them again. A lot of misinformation. Even my father was like, "What's going on? You're doing this and that." He was up in arms about that name change. So just another opportunity to hear from the community. I like that before we rush to a decision on that.
Thank you, Trustee Gonzalez. Do you have, go ahead, Trustee Roby.
I just wanted to concur with Trustee Gonzalez. Thank you, Michael. Being a former administrator at Barnard White Middle School and recognizing a former president of the school site council there, I think we do need to have further conversations clarify the name and clarify the program. Because what's important is, for me, it's not so much the name, but the program and what we're trying to do for our community at that school site. It's a valuable piece of property, and we need to use it appropriately for this district. We use that word declining enrollment. Again, if it's used properly, it could be an asset to the New Haven Unified School District, Barnard White Service Center, or whatever name we give it. But recognizing Barnard and White are two separate people, and Dakota is a community that's been here forever.
Thank you, Trustee Ravi. Vice President Rafe?
Thank you. So, like I attended that like forum like a couple of weeks back, and it was really interesting to see like how people were so passionate about the school, the name, and like the everything about it. And also, I got to hear the grandson of White, Mr. White. So it's like the name change would mean like would mean it would be really big for them. So I have to say thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, Trustee Rafe. I did have a couple questions clarifying. So Ms. Pernala shared that the forum information was not sent out to non-NHUSD community. Is that correct?
Yeah, we don't have a, we sent it out during all of our normal means, but we don't have a direct, other than doing a direct mailing to the community, and which we did not do.
Okay, but the presentation had survey results from the non-NHUSD community.
Yes,
So
well,
the survey went out, but
yes. It went out to everybody, but if you weren't if you weren't connected to our overall, or our overarching ecosystem, which includes a lot of people that are within the community at large, anybody could have filled that out that had the link to the survey, and that the survey went to everybody that we have a contact for. But we don't have direct contact information for the Dakota community and that South Hayward community, other than doing a mailing, which we could have done.
so is there a way to get broader feedback from the community that's not New Haven, like a community forum?
We
that-
could do, I
or
could
is
reach
it-
out to Ms. Pernella and some other people in the community and distribute, if we wanted to do so, for, say, for example, another community forum, and advertise it that way and get it out there. But other than doing a direct mailing, which is, has a cost, then there's no way for us to contact that other than reaching out through our normal means, and then maybe to Ms. Pernella and others in that community.
Okay, thank you. And then the two recommendations that you brought, so the first one does have the Barnard White campus in it, right? So we
Correct.
still have that. And the second one, the New Haven Academy, so the Dakota part is out, is that? So I,
Yeah.
okay. All right, thank you. Is that all?
What, just, could we use our city partners to get on their system, mailing system?
I can
Or
see what
their
they have
newsletter?
available. Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? All right, thank you.
So just to clarify for next steps, is there some direction for staff on this one in terms of consensus? It sounds like we have two members that would like to see another community input session.
I
Three,
would, yeah.
okay. All right, we'll look to schedule another one of those. Given the schedule coming up, I'm not too sure if we can get everything done before the April board meeting, but I mean, I don't know that there's a little more of some urgency around DSIS, because that is something that is a program that students enroll in. If the name for Barnard White, the campus, that we have a little more, it's not as urgent, I guess. So we'll try to schedule something before the April board meeting if we can. And I don't know if we have enough time to do that and well, I'll work that out and get back to you on that one.
So John, one more thing, for the DSIS renaming, the majority of the survey results, the community did not support it. And we don't know the reasons for that, because only a few percentage of that showed up to the forum, correct?
Yes, the feeling, and again, it was only 10 people that showed up, but it seemed to be that the sentiment among the community, and when we do our forum, we can clarify this, that the people that were opposed to the DSIS name change on Go Forward felt like, thought we were renaming the actual
Right.
school, not the program. And when we mentioned that it was the program, there seemed to be less interest in the name of the Independent Studies program versus the school facility that is currently Dakota Elementary School.
Correct. But that was a very small percentage of those who took the survey.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have enough in terms of direction?
Yes.
Great, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to item 10.1, items from the board and superintendent. I'll start from the far end. Student trustee Beneflor.
Okay, so the College and Career Center will be hosting the Job/Community Expo next week on Tuesday, March 11th, during both lunches in the pavilion. This event aims to serve Logan students by connecting them with a diverse mix of employers, nonprofit organizations, and higher education institutions. And I'm currently working with last year's student board member to revise the future student board member election process in order to make it like much more inclusive, because there's like so many students who are capable and deserving of a chance to serve on the board, and we want to make this opportunity accessible to them. This week, today, and on Thursday, there will be a thrift store event by our ASU Fashion Club where students can practice sustainability practices by buying affordable secondhand clothes during lunch. And other programs like Hope for Health, Key Club, Ballet Folklorico, and others will also have the opportunity to sell accessories to fundraise. And from March 17th to March 21st, leadership will be hosting their annual skit where classes will be performing the skit they've been like practicing and have been like preparing for months. And on the 21st, there will also be a night skit. So that's open to the community. So and on March 19th, leadership will also host a staff for students basketball game. We're looking for students and staff to play. So if you know Logan Colt, definitely encourage them to apply. And like some have addressed during the public comment, various Logan students and some of our art teachers were like, have expressed like disappointment with our lack of art offerings in Logan. And thank you. That's my report.
Thank you, trustee Beneflor. Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes, I just, on Super Bowl Sunday, I had a baby boy, 9 pounds, 14 ounces. So I'm doing my part to increase New Haven enrollment. So, and so I missed out on a lot of stuff that I was invited to because I'm on paternity leave, and I will be back in a month off of maternity leave. So I just want to remind the Lactation Express Board policy and handbook that we have that was passed here. Really great for our district, and other neighboring districts are using that as a template, and they're copying us from that. So that's it. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Irby.
I'd like to report that James Logan Forensics team is sending 61 students to the state championship. There are 61 qualifiers from James Logan High School. Also, I spent the week today Read Across America at Kitayama, reading stories to a number of classrooms. I'll be at Alvarado Elementary School Tuesday and Friday for their career day. And then I'll be spending the day at James Logan High School in Manny Allen's class. So it's been a busy week. And then I also have a class come Saturday on finance. It should be a joy, 8 hours at the Alameda County Office of Education. So thank you all.
Thank you, trustee Irby. Trustee Freeberg.
I don't have anything new to report.
All right. Trustee Rafay.
So I attended the Conley Caraballo High School open house, and met the teachers, and it was, and also there were students who were playing drums, and the teacher was saying they came up with their own style. It was really nice, very interesting, and Trustee Irby was there with me. It was great. And then also I spoke to the activity director. He was saying the teachers over there, they cater the curriculum around the needs of the students, and they also give extra opportunities to the students to stay after school and get the needed help. So that was also really good to know. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Rafay. I visited Easton Elementary as I was invited by a few students, teachers. And it was great. I got to see the You Fly Phonics program in action, and it was really cool. So that was nice. I will be co-chairing the Fun Run, the New Haven Fun Run again this year. We've been working really hard. We have our volunteers in place. We have our flyers out. And I wanted to thank, oh, Coach Webb is still here. Awesome. I wanted to thank Coach Webb for suggesting adding a Special Olympians category. I think that's really cool, and we're going to be doing that. So really proud of us. All right. And lastly, I will have my March chat with your trustee tomorrow from 3 to 4 p.m. And I also shared my March office hours on NHUSD's social media. Dr. Thompson.
Sure, just a couple quick things. First, we had one of our coaches, the girls basketball coach, Coach Craddock, received a pretty prestigious honor. She was awarded the NCS Honors Coach Award this year, which is a great honor. She was a Logan student, Logan coach, and this is a great. So I wanted to recognize that great honor for one of our own. And then 2 upcoming events. Just to we're excited about our professional development day for all staff on the 14th of that's next Friday. So parents, we are closed that day, and our offices will be closed in the morning because all of our staff across the district will be attending professional development at Logan. So that's pretty fun. I want to thank Assistant Superintendent Stevens and her team for really doing a lot of hard work to get that day going. And then on the 18th, we have our second Celebrating Schools event. So that's always a fun event. That's it for me.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. Moving on to item 10.1, do we have an update to the district's home to school transportation plan for 24-25?
This is just the annual update that we give. There's no action or anything. It's just information for the public on our plan.
Great. We're going to move on to item 11, committee reports. We'll begin with finance, technology, and facilities. Any updates?
At the end of the month, we're planning to have a meeting.
Great. Communication and advocacy, we're meeting on Thursday this week. So no other updates there. Policy review, we're not meeting until May
27th.
Any other committee reports? Trustee Rafay?
So we have, ROP meeting is on March 13th. And from the foundation, we have, on behalf of the Schools Foundation, I'd like to thank you all for who attended the event as well and supported with your generous donations, our annual gala. And then also the scholarship. The scholarship review is open now and the decisions will be announced by April 30th. And over $200,000 will be awarded in scholarships on May 6th to all the high schoolers here and those who have applied. And then also the classroom grants will be awarded to our teachers on May 13th at 3:30 p.m. at the Education Services Center. Please do come and celebrate our educators. And then is New Haven Fun Run. April 26th, signups are live now, and President Kumar, she mentioned about that. She's leading that. And that's about all. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Rafay. We will now move on to action items. Item 12.1, may I have a motion and second to approve readmission of student number 1?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Right, reminder that we will not have student votes here. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Moving on to item 12.2, may I have a volunteer to read resolution number 049-2425, Arab American History Month, April 2025. Trustee Rafay?
Arab American Heritage Month, April 2025, whereas the New Haven Unified School District acknowledges the diverse cultural makeup of its community and underscores the importance of celebrating the contributions of all its members. And whereas Arab American Heritage Month presents a valuable opportunity to honor the rich history, culture, and significant achievements of Arab Americans who have played essential roles in shaping the identity and progress of our nation. And whereas Arab Americans have made substantial contributions to various fields, including, but not limited to, science, literature, art, music, education, business, and public service, enriching the tapestry of American society. And whereas the majority of Arab Americans adhere to the Islamic faith, and Muslim tradition, practices, and celebrations are deeply interwoven in the rich and complex fabric of Arab American culture. And whereas the history of Arab American within American life is frequently neglected or destroyed or distorted by misunderstanding, prejudice, and anti-Arab or anti-Muslim hatred, manifested in both criminal acts or discriminatory speech. And whereas issues currently impacting Arab Americans, such as civil rights violation, harmful stereotyping, harassment, and bullying, can be effectively addressed through education and increased awareness. And whereas Arab American Heritage Month serves as a significant occasion to promote cross-cultural understanding, respect, and appreciation among students, educators, and community members, including both Muslim and non-Muslim Arab Americans. Therefore, be it resolved that the New Haven Unified School District Board of Education officially recognizes the month of April as Arab American Heritage Month within its schools, acknowledging and celebrating the rich cultural heritage and invaluable contribution of Arab Americans. Be it further resolved that the school district commits to striving to create a welcoming and inclusive environment for Arab American and Muslim students and families, ensuring their cultures, tradition, and identities are respected and valued. Be it finally resolved that during the month of April, educators are encouraged to incorporate lessons, activities, and events that highlight the history, contribution, and lived experiences of Arab Americans into their curriculum, thereby promoting cultural understanding and appreciation among students. Passed and adopted by Governing Board of Education of New Haven Unified School District, County of Alameda, is this 4th day of March 2025 by the following votes.
Thank you, Vice President Rafay. May I have a motion and second to adopt resolution number 0492425, Arab American History Month, April 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 12.3, may I have a motion and second to adopt resolution number 0482425, Board Trustee Gonzalez's absence from meeting due to hardship?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions?
Abstention.
Motion carries. Moving on to item 12.4, may I have a motion and second to adopt resolution number 0372425, reduction or discontinuance of particular kinds of service?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 12.5, may I have a motion and second to approve the non-reemployment of the temporary certificated employees?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 12.7, may I have a motion and second to adopt resolution number 0422425, resolution to reduce or eliminate classified services?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 12.8, may I have a motion and second to approve the 2024-25 second interim report and updated multi-year projections for 2025-26 and 26-27?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 12.9, may I have a motion and second to adopt resolution number 0382425, amended and restated bylaws governing the Measure M and Measure N Citizens Oversight Committees?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose,
A quick note on 12.6, was that the one that was supposed to be pulled,
yes.
but we voted on it?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. Sorry.
Oppose, say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 12.10, may I have a motion and second to approve agreement with Key Analytics for capital facilities financial management, project tracking, reporting, and ongoing compliance support services for Measure M and Measure N.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 12.11, may I have a motion and second to adopt resolution number 0392425, transfer the OPEB liability account from Fund 71 to Fund 01.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 12.12, may I have a motion and second to adopt resolution number 0472425, categorical exemption for the Cesar Chavez Middle School Sports Fields and Drop-Off Project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 12.13, may I have a motion and second to approve a memorandum of understanding between New Haven Unified School District and Mission Valley Track and Field Club.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 12.14, may I have a motion and second to approve the purchase of Aptigee Thrill Share beginning 2025-26?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 12.15, may I have a motion and second to approve the agreement with NG Associates Food Service Consultants, Inc.?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 12.16, may I have a motion and second to approve the agreement between Heroes of Color and IVCMS for 2024-25?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 12.17, may I have a motion and second to approve the agreement between Heroes of Color and CCMS for the 2024-25 school year?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 12.18, may I have a motion and second to approve the agreement between Heroes of Color and James Logan High School for the 2024-25 school year?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. All right, we're going to move on to item 13. Are there any items from the consent agenda that any board member would like to pull for a separate vote? All right, seeing none, may I have a motion and second to approve items 13.1 through 13.46?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? All right, motion carries. Item 14, since there was nothing removed from consent agenda, we can move on to item 15. Item 15 is assessment of governance procedures and protocols. Does anyone have any comments related to this item? All right, seeing none, we're going to move on to item 16, board consensus. Do any board members have any requests for staff? All right, I had one for Dr. Thompson. So last week, there was, not last week, last board meeting, we talked about the Desario contract, and there were some comments from the public and the community, and you suggested that you would be sharing a summary of the invoices. We didn't quite close on that. I was just wondering if we could just talk about, what is the cadence for that? Or when can we expect that?
I thought the best time to do it would be at the end of, as we close our finances for each month. What I would do is get any time cards submitted and then summarize that. And so the beginning of each month, I haven't checked to see if we have them all in yet for February, but my goal will be in that first part of the month to give you last month's summary. And so you should expect one soon for February, if that works
Great.
out.
That's great. Does that seem okay with everyone?
You mentioned the billing,
Mm-hmm.
so as when you get does he submit an invoice or a time card or?
You know what, I've got to check and see how he's submitting stuff to us, but I'll try, however it's submitted, the invoices, I'll total them up for the month. So you'll get February soon, and then I'll give them, as soon as I get them, make sure that we have all of February's.
So you'll send them and then you'll send your explanation?
I can give a little summary, sure.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Dr. Thompson. All right, any other board member requests? All right, seeing no further business, this meeting is adjourned at 8:15 PM. Have a good night.